Good evening, beautiful people. Hello, beautiful people, as Chris Banjo would say. Frankie from Flatbush, FSPN, located in beautiful FSPN headquarters. We're bringing you the news, and what do we got today? We got the coordinators. All the coordinators started talking. And I gotta say, after hearing, I know it's just the yakety yak and da da da. But after hearing these guys talk, I'm like, spot the ball. Spot the ball. Let's go. Oh, man. And one thing we learned, Frank Reich, so let's take them one by one. Frank Reich took the podium first, and this is not just any old job. This is not something he took to stave off retirement. He really wanted to be here. I think you could see it, hear it in his voice, see it in his face and all of the things he said. Really wanted to work with AG, really wanted the challenge of bringing this franchise up to speed. Uh, well, and let's hear from old Frank about what he thought about the job. And Geno Smith.
I think he fits perfect. I've liked Geno from day one. When he was coming out of West Virginia, I had a high grade on Geno. I'd not met Geno before here, and I'm kind of glad because I'm even more impressed with him now meeting him in person. I feel his resilience, his toughness. I always think the number one attribute in any quarterback that you need, especially you want to come and turn something around, is you need someone who's tough. I mean, tough mentally, tough physically, and I feel that from Geno on every front. I think his experience, the ups and downs that he's been through, and he's had great success and had to deal with some tough seasons. And if you play in this league long enough, everyone's going to face that. And if you are the person, if you're the right kind of leader, then you come out of it better. And I think that's the version of Geno Smith we're getting. We're getting the best version of who he is, and I think his best football's ahead of him.
And, and you could see he really does really want to work with Geno. Had a high grade coming out of West Virginia. Always liked Geno. And you also heard him say something to the effect that he's never had as much fun as he's had since he's been on the staff. And you kind of get that idea anyway. The Jets put out a video about something else, and you saw Frank Reich in the background. And they were showing what time it was. It was like 6 a.m. And he's there at the facility, smiling, having fun. And then you saw a video from the Jets media, Richie, showing Frank Reich, looking at going to the combine and staying extra, looking at these quarterbacks, probably looking at Cabe Klubnik. But I really do believe that, this isn't just some freaking, hey, let's earn a few paychecks here before we go retire and go with the wife and go on vacation. No, I think he really does want to be here, and I think he really is excited. Everything he's said and done that you could see tangentially and so forth, I think he wants to be here, and that's great news. He also said that he's going to tailor the offense to the skill sets of the players. Gee, something Frankie has said forever. And it's one thing to say it, now we got to see him go do it. But at least he has that mindset that we're going to utilize all the talents of all these people, Brace Hall, Kenyon Sadiq, Garrett Wilson, A.D. Mitchell, all these people, Omar Cooper, Mason Taylor. There's so much to like about this offense if Geno can just, be a good point guard. We already have a top 10 run game, and we only got better with Dylan Parham and getting Braylon Allen back, and an extra tight end in there who's big and strong. Kenyon Sadiq, you got to stop putting your head over your toes in the blocking. Easy to fix. Just straight up, Kenyon, not like this, like this. But other than that, a very willing blocker. He's going to get better. But so all we did was get better. We already had a top 10 run game with no quarterback. If we have a good quarterback who can do some things and threaten the defense with a deep ball, which certainly Geno can do, how much better is that running game going to be? And then if that running game is just a dominant running game, defenses are going to have to start to commit resources to it, whether it's heavy boxes or pressing the line of scrimmage very quickly, and then play action and fuck them up that way. Very simple. Now, so that was exciting. Then we got a little bit of a taste of old Brian Duker. Put up your Dukes a Hazard defense, and he said one thing in particular that I really loved. They asked him about, are you going to be a 4-3 or a 3-4? What's your philosophy on that, Coach Duker? And I love this answer.
What is your philosophy about 3-4 or 4-3?
My philosophy is to play the best players and play good defense.
No, as far as the scheme, the scheme you like to run.
Exactly. Yep. Whoever the best players are, we'll get those out there, and we'll be multiple with that. So I wouldn't tie myself to either of those, really.
Yeah. That's called schematic fluidity. Yeah. Finally. Yeah, I'm not committing to anything. Fuck you, he said. We might be a 3-4, we might be a 4-3, we might be a 5-1, we might be a 6-0. Who the fuck knows? You have no idea what we're doing. None. We're going to amoeba that shit. We might put 12 people at the line of scrimmage. All right, that's one too many. Maybe not that. But we might put all 11 there. You don't know what we're going to do. It's all a mystery. And that's the way it should be. Especially now, there's no reason to answer that question whatsoever. Number one. And number two, it's great that that's how we're going into this. We're going to be 3-4. We're going to be 4-3. We're going to mix and match these people. And Agbare may be a defensive tackle sometimes. Osai could go inside. Will McDonald could maybe put his hand in the dirt. Will McDonald could be in a 2-point. We don't know. And neither do you. And you, as an offense, are going to just get fucked up with all these people who now know how to play defensive line. David Onyemata and Harrison Phillips and Jawan Briggs and T'Vondre Sweat and Darrell Jackson. All these people that we didn't have last year. Well, some we had. We had Phillips and Briggs. But other than that, we didn't have too many. And now we got T'Vondre Sweat. We got David Onyemata. He can be a 0. Excuse me. He could be a 3-tech, he could be a 1-tech, he could be whatever you need him to be. And he's going to kill people. And then we pick up Darrell Jackson, this big, gigantic man with an 86-inch wingspan and 11-inch hands to just beat people up. I think you saw in this man's face, Duker, he was like, whoa, I got what? I got all these people? Whoa. Yeah, we're going to use them. That's what's going to happen. You might see a 4-3. You might see a 3-4. We don't know. You don't know. Fuck you. How about that? That's the defensive front. Fuck you. Yeah. Finally. That's the way AG wants to do it anyway. I mean, you wonder what the hell happened last year with Wilkes coming in here. What skullduggery he must have done to get AG off of his, preferred way of doing business, which is this, what Duker just told you. That's what AG loves to do. How do I know that? That's what they did in Detroit, especially that last year when he finally had a full complement of players. And he installed it and he played it. And even as the year went on, when he had injury, it still was effective because he finally had, all the horses, installed it all, and very, very good. So that's the way we're going to be. Spot the ball, man. Spot the ball. And then we had, of course, Chris Banjo. No real revelations from Chris Banjo, just a wonderful human being. And hopefully Chris Banjo, who did, of course, the best job of all of our coordinators last year, and hopefully he got a raise. So that's really all that we have in terms of that. The Jets have adopted, I noticed, the motto, I guess you could say, of grit. You see it on their shirts. You see it all over. This is something that AG obviously adopted from the Detroit Lions, came from Dan Campbell. And so now we're going to be the gritty team. Now we're getting shirts that say grit. Fine. We'll take it. Fine. Not everything has to be original, But the only other piece of news that came out today, Russell Wilson says that the Jets made him an offer. That has not been confirmed by anyone, and none of the beat reporters have said anything about it other than some of them, not even all of them, mentioning this came out in the New York Post. So I'm sure he said it, but we don't know if it's actually true. He said that when he went to the facility, we offered him. Offered me, that is a phrase that the kids use when they're coming out of high school going to college, that, this so-and-so college offered me, meaning offered me a scholarship. It's less common to be used as far as a contract goes in the NFL. So, I don't know, weird phrasing. But oddly, no one else has reported on this, like confirming or denying whether from the Jets side, whether like there's been nothing from Connor or Zach or Samini on this. So, I don't know. Maybe we did, maybe we didn't. Who knows? We'll see what they'd like to do with as far as the backup quarterback goes. But I think so far so good. These coaches, they are off to a good start, I would say. When you as a fan, your reaction to them, their first time at the podium, your reaction is spot the ball. That means they're doing a good job. They're giving off the right vibes and the right verbiage, and that's what you need this time of year, because we can't play the games yet. Somebody will say, doesn't matter, Frankie, they are not playing the games. Wait till they start losing. Well, when the games start, we'll start talking about the games, but we can't talk about the games now because you can't play games in May. So that's where we are. Coaches, coordinators speaking, and we'll have rookie minicamp news probably later this week, so look forward to that.